Sheriff, that's okay?
Please do.
Okay, we'll say Piat,
Here.
Yang,
Here.
Morgan,
Here.
Howards. Oops, we had John. Did we lose him? Uh-oh. We gotta wait till we get John back. We lost him for a second here. Anybody else see him on their screen?
No.
No.
We better wait till he dials back in. So without him, we don't have a quorum, so we need to wait for him to come back on.
His name showed up and then it was gone.
Yeah, he was heard. We heard from him there for a second, and then yeah, so shoot. We'll give him, sure, he's just trying to dial back in here, so. I'll send him a quick email, see if I can make sure he's still getting back on here.
Neil, he's trying to join now.
Very good.
Here he comes.
Hey, John, you back?
Yep, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Perfect. No, that's okay. We're glad we got you. So perfect. All righty. I think we have a quorum, Mr. Chairman. Our other members are excused. So
So, all right. So, special meeting, Neil, do we just proceed to you? What's the procedure?
yep. Can we just do I guess a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, the motion has
I
been,
second that.
okay, motion has been forwarded and seconded. Motion approved.
All in
We have
favor?
a vote.
Yep.
All in
Yep.
favor?
I.
And I guess any opposed? If none, I think the agenda is approved, Mr. Chair. So,
Very good.
and if we could have a similar motion on approval of the minutes.
And approval of the minutes, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay,
I second.
okay. Motion has been forwarded by Bill Morgan and seconded by John Kelowitz. Do we have a vote?
Yep. So all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any
I.
opposed? Perfect. Thank
Motion
you very much.
carried.
Very good. Regular business, Mr. Chair, is just a consideration of possible action on a development agreement with Carnivore Meat Company to purchase and development of city-owned property located on Grandview Drive and Finger Road, parcels 21-22 and part of 21-24, and financial assistance for industrial development. This project was previously before this body. This agreement was. There have been some minor changes to the agreement. In short, it is for approximately a 220,000 square foot manufacturing facility. Carnivore Meat Company is located here in Green Bay. This is an expansion and consolidation of their existing operations here in town. This is a brand new, very modern facility that will be kind of take the place of and be their kind of their corporate headquarters for their operations. They do freeze-dried dog food is kind of their primary product. I think they do labeling for other companies. So this will be a very modern, very new facility. It'll also be the very initial kind of anchor tenant to our new industrial expansion area here in this particular area of town. So we are very fortunate to have certainly a Green Bay company be involved in looking at this. I think the actual renderings and so forth, I'll scroll through the agreement here in just a minute, kind of highlight some of the visuals so folks can see that. But I also just want to kind of take a quick look at here. Let me see, I think we had move screens here, and I think I want to share my screen here quick. So I did highlight some of the quick differences and the key elements of the particular agreement. I'll put on your screen now as soon as that comes up. So the building size between what was originally reviewed back, I think it was in April, was first discussed. Buildings shrunk a little bit in size, just from 256 down to 222,000 square feet. I think really mostly just from efficiency and engineering design. They've just made that a little smaller. The building value guarantee was at $40 million. We are now, that's been tightened up slightly to a guarantee of $35 million from the city's cash flow standpoint in terms of evaluating the tax increment finance request. That is certainly did not really have an impact on what we're looking at. There's a public arts requirement that is a city policy for any TIF project that usually requires the allocation of 1% of the the overall aggregate construction cost towards public art, generally in the same area of the project. They are proposing a minimum $250,000, but want to enter into a separate agreement with the city on exactly where that would go and what that would look like. Staff is in favor of that, knowing because of basically the increment sharing that we're doing, and the city's going to have the ability to invest in other public art opportunities should we so be desired by that. One key element that was worked on by Attorney Bungert and a lot of the staff was kind of clarifying the ownership roles on this. It was kind of originally being pursued as Carnivore Meat Company as the tenant with a real estate holding company as the primary owner. Because of their financing and what they're doing, there's a couple of other layers that have been added into the agreement just to be for transparency. So we've added all of those descriptions of who those entities are and exactly what their role is. Then there was a couple of concern, issues in terms of failing to create a TIF district, because we'll have to create a new one for this particular area, that the city would agree that then we would buy back. There's provisions for us to acquire the property back from the developer should the TIF not be created and the project be unable to move forward. Similarly, if for some reason the developer didn't proceed according to plan, the city also has the ability to acquire the city back if for some reason they didn't perform at that. So with that, we did update some of the exhibits, which I will put up on my screen here shortly. Essentially, the purchase price for the two parcels remains the same at $15,000 per acre. They are asking for 20% of their increment on an annual basis through the life of the TIF district. And the schedule remains the same with the 2022 start and being completed prior to the end of 2024 of the facility. So with that, I will pull up let me see if I can actually bring up the agreement here. And I'll show some of the illustrations here of kind of what the project looks like. You can scroll all the way down to the end here. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, and where's that? There we go. Signatures. Okay, so here's the property in question. This is Finger Road at Mason Street. Grandview Drive is right here. So they're taking up this full city parcel right here, and then this portion of the adjacent parcel. These two properties here highlighted in orange are going to be under option for future development and expansion by the company or their partners. So that's kind of the layout of kind of where we're at. Alder Morgan, you'll probably be familiar with this. This is the area that we just rezoned at council here within the last couple of weeks. So this is kind of the same area as that. So kind of just go down to legal descriptions, really not what we're looking for. Here's kind of an option on the agreement there. And more importantly, here's the site plan. Let me see if I can actually get this to look the right way here. Just rotate view. There we go. How about counterclockwise? There we go. So here's kind of a little bit of what the building itself is proposed to look like. Again, a very large structure, but at least some nice architectural elements in terms of breaking up the massing, in addition to a significant landscaping type of feature. So we'll be adding to that as well. Again, similar projects going forward. So that's kind of the project in a nutshell. It is largely, again, similar to what was previously presented. With that, we'll certainly be happy to answer any questions. Staff's recommendation is for approval, subject to some final review by the city attorney. She was actually under the weather a little bit this week, so thanks to Rebecca Hammond, the developer's attorney, helped us get a version ready to go for, but we probably still kind of need one last once over before it is gets sent on to city council next Tuesday. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Neil, what's the employment number?
The employment number, let's see, I actually have that in the information here. Let me see if I can pull that up. That was the older one. Here, let me see if I can find the current one. This was the EDA final. There we go. This version here. I'll bring that. Let me put that up on the screen here. So I'll scroll down and get to it before I make you guys look at all of the blinking of the screen going by this time. There we go. So here is kind of the breakdown of the employment. So this will be actually an exhibit in their agreement. So this is kind of retained positions, 103 new positions to be located at the project, approximately 52. Here's the kind of the types of positions and then the actual salaries of kind of what we're looking at there. So it is a significant retention of 100, probably over 100 employees, and with an expansion. And honestly, I think the growth number is pretty conservative at 52. I have a feeling that number could, based on their growth numbers they've been discussing, that could actually exceed that fairly quickly. So we also think there's also some interest from partnering suppliers, other maybe even customers that may actually have an interest in co-locating with them on this project once it's underway.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
Okay, good, thank you.
so
On Exhibit C, that preliminary concept plan, where are we actually looking at that from Finger Road, or is
Yep.
that you looking south, I assume?
Yep, let's see here. Let me put that back up, Alder, one moment. See, view, rotate it again. Clockwise, here we go. This will be a little better angle on that one. So this is their concept plan that is included in the agreement packet right now. You see, obviously, Grandview Drive here, Grandview Road here, Finger Road here, and then obviously Mason Road turning into Finger Road at this location here. So entrances, look, the primary entrance will be off of the cul-de-sac here in Finger. The other key entrance will then be off of Grandview Drive to this area here. And this has not been a full subject to a site plan review. What has been approved prior at this point is the zoning for the property. However, the applicant will still need to submit a formal site plan for formal review against that zoning that has already been approved. But so the zoning ordinance itself has been approved, but the actual site plan for the project still needs to be reviewed and approved by the city.
Is there an anticipated groundbreaking?
I think according to, certainly they are probably wanting to get going as quickly as possible. So I think as long as we can get a closing scheduled, probably within, I would say by no later than end of June or early July, they would probably be breaking ground on the project.
That's pretty quick. Good.
And looking at that exhibit also, I see that, so from Finger Road, we're just gonna have pretty much pedestrian and automobile traffic. Semis and such would be back off of Grandview the way it looks.
I believe most of the traffic right now, Alder Morgan, would be on through Grandview. Yes, I think the employee parking is kind of more the access for Finger Road. So just
Right.
more. So yes, correct.
Thank you.
So does anybody else have any questions?
Nice job, Neil.
I wish I could say it was just me, but like I said, there's been a big team at the city working on it, and also certainly the developer's been working probably 2 or 3 times as hard as we are trying to design a facility of this size. So all credit to them and the work they've been doing here. So we're excited they chose this spot and are excited to hopefully get them going. So subject to council approval on Tuesday, if assuming that's the desire of this body, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
So I think if there aren't any other questions, staff would be recommending approval of the development agreement as presented, subject to a final review by the city attorney.
I'd make a motion that we accept that decision to approve this.
I'll second. Been moved and seconded. Any nays?
Excellent. We'll consider that as a unanimous approval. So thank you very much, everybody. We do appreciate the flexibility on schedule. We apologize for moving the time around on everybody, but we had some extra work to just wrap up here to get it to this point. So,
Looks like it
so
was
your
worth it.
flexibility is appreciated. So I think last items is just, I think for informational, I think, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're going to do a full update on brownfield programs in our next meeting.
Yes, yep, we'll give the group here a bigger presentation at the next EDA meeting, it's up to you on Brownfields. The only minor update we did want to share here was for our shipyard Brownfield redevelopment project. This past week, the Department of Interior National Park Service did preliminarily award the city of Green Bay a $5 million grant to go towards phase 2 of the shipyard project. So this is certainly a major boost toward our efforts to get that brownfield redeveloped, and we're really excited about it. Other than that, we'll give you a bigger update on our work at the next TDA meeting.
Similarly here, I think.
Congratulations, Matt and Neil.
Thank you.
Oops, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, like I said, I'm not ashamed to say Matt was the guy who worked most of the magic on the grant application. I'm not as a younger guy as he is, I think he's going to pass my record. I've been doing this 30 years and I think he's going to get more grant money than me within the next couple of year or two. So I'm a little jealous of his skill set. So, but no, we're very
You two
excited.
together are the dream team. So
Yeah, it's a great
you guys-
opportunity. So
It's a good project. These applications write themselves.
So with that, and again, similarly, Mr. Chair, I'll probably be providing a more full director's report more at the next meeting. So, which is it's set for June 6th is our next meeting. So not all that far away. So,
All right. Should we take a motion to adjourn? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to
Motion.
adjourn.
Yep, I'll second.
And I second that.
okay.
All right. Motion has been seconded, and any nays? I think we have adjourned.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you, everybody,
Nice
for your
to-
flexibility. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
flexibility and time. Much appreciated. So,
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. I wanted to say nice seeing some faces and hearing a few voices. Hopefully someday we'll all get to meet together.
yep. Well, you get lucky enough to see staff on Council Tuesday, Alder.
I
But yeah, I
know.
agree.